Hi, I'm Eric Kelly from KellyPlanet.com. This is a close look at Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 5, Episode 17, The Outcast.
Captain's log, stardate 45614.6. We have been contacted by an androgynous race called the Janai to investigate the mysterious disappearance of one of their shuttlecraft.
The Janai, not to be confused with the Geni, led by Colomini or Robert Davi on SG-1. Data says, hey, we're here, but there's nothing there. That non-gender specific person is Soren, and they say that the shuttle isn't capable of going very far.
I'm detecting an unusual reading. It appears to be a neutrino emission with no visible source.
Explanation?
I have none, sir. I recommend we launch a probe.
Make it so.
Hey, they used new probe footage as far as I can tell. And Data says the probe is gone. Soren's like, where did it go? Well, I don't know.
The sudden disappearance of our probe suggests that we may have found the first instance of what is called Null Space, an anomaly which until now had been only theoretical.
Oh, Null Space, is that a thing? Well, sort of. Not like that, though. It's an algebra thing. So math whiz Riker has been working closely with Soren and the Janai to see if this is the case. And you don't have to be Guinan to see where this is going.
If we're right, the pocket would absorb electromagnetic energy from anything that entered it, making them powerless.
But outside the pocket, all the energy is bent around it, making it naturally cloaked.
You got all that? So nothing has been destroyed, it's just cloaked. And powerless. So the people on that shuttle are dead for sure. Oh wait, the Janai have magic life support that will last for 10 days. That's Nor, I'll talk about them later. They pledge to help the Enterprise rescue attempts any way they can.
When the time comes, I would like to pilot the shuttle.
It's a Starfleet craft.
I happen to be a good pilot.
I happen to be a good pilot, too, and I know my way around the Starfleet shuttle. So what if we team up?
So they team up, quite literally. This is kind of Federation Shuttle Pilot School 101, and somehow Soren knows all about the controls, even though they've never seen them before, or know the language. Riker's quite impressed. Apparently Soren went to flight school at a very young age, and Kreit was the teacher. Riker says, well, he had a very good student.
Commander, there are no he's or she's in a species without gender.
Now I give up. What should I use? It? To us, that's rude.
We use a pronoun that is neutral. I do not think there is really a translation.
Time for lunch. Split pea soup. Keeps you warm on those cold Alaskan nights. Soren says, oh, well, we stay warm by sleeping with our friends, and Riker likes that. But they do that just to keep warm, no mating.
It's hard to grasp the idea of no gender.
It is just as hard for us to understand the strange division in your species, males and females. Tell me about males. What is it makes you different from females?
So Riker tries to explain the differences between men and women to this alien, and everything he says for the next 2 minutes, well, you can imagine how that would fly today. Turns out that on the planet with no gender, whomever is taller leads when dancing, and they all still argue with each other, well, yeah, of course. And it seems that the two species aren't so different. This is a long scene, so Soren asks Riker what his preferences in women are, and he says that the important thing is she has to laugh at his jokes. But not all human men have the same preferences. It's complex, but Soren thinks that makes having two genders interesting. Who? That's correct. Soren excuses themselves, and Riker gets a weird look.
Commander Riker and the Janai pilots have set out to chart the Null Space pocket. If they are successful, we can then proceed with a rescue attempt.
The phaser mapping plan is working, and these two are spending way too much time together for their own good.
Tell me about your sexual organs. Is that an uncomfortable subject for humans?
No.
I'm interested in your mating practices. What is involved with two sexes?
Yeah, so he explains that in generalized terms. The way the Janai do it is both parents fertilize a fibrous husk. Where does that come from? Well, they never say. Riker's like, well, that's no fun, and Soren comes back with, well, the husk thing is just the last step. Our rituals go on for quite a while, and this gets pretty flirty.
The idea of gender, it is offensive to my people. You see, long ago we had two sexes, as you do. But we evolved into a higher form.
If they say so. Oh no, the shuttle clips Null Space and loses power, and they don't have magic life support. Soren goes down, but Geordi's gonna get them with a tractor beam. The doc says Soren is fine, and they notice that Bev is in fact a female.
I notice you tend to have longer hair, and you apply color to your bodies.
Color?
You put color on your mouths, and your eyes, your cheeks, and the men don't.
That's true.
Well, and, technically every guy on this show has makeup on. They discuss how the genders try to attract each other and, equality, and thank goodness there's Riker. Before I forget, Soren is played by Melinda Kulia from the A-Team, and as little as she looks there, she's actually like 5'8". Anyway, the doc says Soren is good to go. Well, there's the rest of the cast. It's Troy's deal, and she calls the game Federation Day.
2s, 6s, and aces are wild.
That is a woman's game.
Oh, why is that?
All those wild cards, they support a weak hand. A man's game has no wild cards.
Bev says, oh, so you think women are weak? And Worf says, yes. I don't like the Janai, they bother me. Bev says, well, one of them seems to be overcoming our differences. That Soren person sure seems into Riker. Worf says, ew, that's impossible, and Data asks why, and Troy says, yeah, Worf, why is that? And he says, I have too many wild cards, and, end scene. Those two are working on the thing, and Soren tells Riker that they find him attractive.
Some have strong inclinations to maleness, and some have urges to be female. I am one of the latter.
So as far as this show goes, Soren just came out as female, and that is a very dangerous thing to do on her planet. Gender is forbidden, and people like her have to go through psychotherapy before they can be accepted back into society.
I must be careful not to reveal myself.
Why?
On our world, these feelings are forbidden. Those who are discovered are shamed and ridiculed.
Soren knew she was different her whole life and knew a kid that identified as male in school, and he got severely picked on. So he was taken for psychotherapy and returned to school proclaiming how happy he was to be cured. So Soren has been terrified to be different since adulthood and has been living a life of lies. This script is not exactly subtle. Oh yeah, Geordi has a beard and we won't see that again until LeVar Burton gets married in real life. Anyway, he souped up the shuttle to be able to enter Null Space and hopefully rescue the Janai crew. And there they go. And there's the lost shuttle. There's the Janai people and they're not dead. There's a problem with the transporter, but I still have 50 minutes of this to get through, so let's just say Riker dumps all the power into the transporter, the shuttle explodes, but it works. Yay, everyone's okay. And Picard and his crew are invited to a celebration on the surface.
What do you think of our planet? Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, it is. It's beautiful.
Please, let me take you on a tour.
Thank you. It's kind of you.
I bet Kryde is wondering what kind of tour that's going to be. Those two start making out in the woods by the moonlight, and they don't stop, so let's cut to a captain's log.
In the hope that a detailed map of Null Space will prevent the loss of other ships, we remain in orbit of Janai, charting the anomaly.
Oh no. Riker goes to see Troy, so they're going to talk about feelings for like the next 5 minutes. Nothing they say here matters, so skip. Riker stops by Soren's quarters, but she's not there. Kryde says, oh, we know about you two. Soren's in custody, and there's nothing you can do. And Riker's like, oh yeah? Soren's on trial. Okay, so Nor there is played by Megan Cole, and we'll see her again as Romulan Senator Kretak for 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine, and oh, there's Riker.
What really happened, it was all my fault. I was attracted to Soren. I pursued. I insisted. I didn't understand your ways until she explained them to me, and rejected me.
Nor asks Soren if this is true, but Soren says, no, I am done living a lie. I am female, and I was born that way. This is not unnatural, and I am not sick. I do not need help, and I do not need to be cured. I could not possibly show you this entire speech here, but I'll do my best.
What I need, and what all of those who are like me need, is your understanding and your compassion.
Oh, she's not done. Soren goes on to point out that herself and those like her cause no injury to others, but are scorned and attacked every day. But they are no different.
All of the loving things that you do with each other, that is what we do. What makes you think you can dictate how people love each other?
In real time, that speech was over 2 minutes of uninterrupted dialogue. Nor says, well, this is great. Since you know you have a perversion, it'll be easier to fix you. Riker tries to stop this, but Nor gives another complicated speech about how their society has a high success rate of curing deviants who are always much happier after treatment.
On this world, everyone wants to be normal.
She is.
No more, Commander.
Riker to Enterprise. 1 to transport.
Of course, Riker is pretty upset, but Picard gives him the Prime Directive spiel, and reminds him that if he goes off and does something on his own, Starfleet will not be happy. But he is in love with this alien he just met a few days ago, and is willing to risk his career to save her. Worf stops by and volunteers to go on the raid too, because of his loyalty to the commander, and, Klingons like that kind of stuff. Here we go. They beat up those Janai, and there is Soren. But she's like, no, wait, please don't do this. And Riker's like, no, it's cool, you'll be safe with me.
It was all a mistake. And I should have realized it from the beginning.
What?
That I was sick. I had these terrible urges. And that is why I reached out to you.
Oh, they already brainwashed Soren. He says, but I love you. And they say, well, I'm sorry. I guess nobody noticed Riker and Worf doing that super illegal thing.
Is our business with the Janai finished?
Finished, sir.
Very well. Ensign, take us out of orbit. Set a course for the Phelan system, warp 6.
Aye, sir.
Engage.
Okay, so that was all about a gender-neutral society, and that hits a bit different in 2024 than in 1992. Believe me, I kept track, and with the exception of Riker's initial gaffe, the script did not use any gender-specific pronouns in reference to any Janai at all, until Soren came out as female, and then she was referred to as a her. This was enthusiastically written by Jerry Taylor, and she and the other producers, as well as the director, were all proud of themselves for creating such a television episode. But it kind of backfired on them. Of course, the more conservative fans weren't exactly thrilled with the undertones, but from what I read at least, most of the backlash came from the gay community, because they thought this episode wasn't gay enough. If you noticed, while that was certainly the underlying theme, the Janai themselves were not gay. So what do I think? Well, this one doesn't make me upset or anything, but it's not one of my favorites. Mostly because it's like 90% Riker and Soren, and I find that boring. I'm going with 3 deltas out of 5. You can let me know how you feel about that. If you liked that video, thank you. Like and subscribe. Make a comment if you want to. There's more Star Trek videos and related content on my website. Check it out at kellyplanet.com. I'm Eric Kelly. Live long and prosper.